So many huge moments happened at the Grammys, and we have to break them down. Joining us today, we've got Brian Foss, one of our writers here at Page Six.
Let's get into it. I mean, it was a great show. I was actually not falling asleep during an award show. It was like ladies' night at the Grammys, and all of my favorite artists were there. I was having a blast.
I mean, well, it started off with Trevor Noah. His monologue had all of us laughing, including Taylor.
Joe Coy was at home crying. So it really felt like the first good award show of the year.
It did.
It was fun. There was like a pink carpet and he was like working the room. And like while he was doing zingers, very naturally, like Meryl Streep is coming in late, you know, Taylor Swift is coming in late. Like he sort of owned it and it felt very loose. And I guess that's sort of the music industry in general. Like they're not as uptight as a bunch of actors and directors.
Exactly, which I have to say, I feel like it was almost like he set his monologue to fit the fact that they were going to be ushering them in. Although he did it, he just did it on the fly.
That's right. You know, it had rained, it's been raining in Los Angeles. And so, of course, Los Angeles traffic is already bad. But then, like, Miley shows up and she looks like she was in a convertible in the rain. Like, her hair is, like, windswept. And it's like, the whole night had a little, like, sense of chaos. And I was here for it.
I know, me too. And I was actually here for Dua Lipa opening the show. Let's start there. Climbing on that apparatus.
The scaffolding, you know, Trevor Noah made a joke, I'll never think of scaffolding the same way.
And I agree.
And as a New Yorker, I was like, I've seen guys do pull-ups on this, but I've never seen someone's butt hang out like Dua Lipa, you know? It was so good. I mean, she's so awesome, and obviously the Barbie song was like, you know, gigantic this past year, and she did Houdini on the stage, and like, I thought all of the performances were so much fresher. I felt like I was watching the VMAs a little bit.
I kind of did too. I did.
I mean, there was just Olivia Rodrigo and SZA and Miley. Like everyone's performances, Dua Lipa, were so good, and it all felt like fresh, and it was pop music, and there was a few nostalgia acts as well. But like, even like Tracy Chapman and Annie Lennox, you know, performing Sinead O'Connor. Like, I was, you know, getting a great mix of like that nostalgia music fan. And the new stuff too, and it just was a great night.
I feel like they encompass the entire musical catalog from back in the day to today.
Absolutely.
It had me thinking about songs that I didn't even remember, like Fast Cars.
So good, yeah.
Total classic, and I was singing along like as if it just came out yesterday.
I know, Fast Car came out in 1988, and it's now a country hit, and like the entire room is singing along.
Yeah.
It's just one of those songs that's just, it's just a couple of notes on a guitar, and it like will last forever.
So we got to talk about how SZA was late picking up her award for the song Snooze for Best R&B, which by the way, she won 3 Grammys, but I almost didn't think
She's hitting her alarm clock.
I know, right? No, I did hear though that she was changing backstage because she did just perform.
Yeah, she kind of dominated the night. She won a couple of Grammys, but she was nominated for the most number.
Right, 9.
9, and it felt like she was gonna win Album of the Year.
Oh, I know.
And it didn't happen. You know, it went to Taylor Swift instead, and she made history as the first artist to win 4 Best Albums over her entire career.
Yep.
But, you know, we'll talk about that later.
We will get into that later. We will, because we have to talk about who finally got her flowers. Miley.
I see what you did there. Miley won her first 2 Grammys this year for that amazing hit, #1 song.
Yep.
I mean, it really felt like her career had completely come back. It's this like great breakup anthem, and she looked awesome doing it. Like, she was having such a good time. She reminded me of like a wedding singer.
She just didn't care.
Yeah, she was like kind of, you know, trolling the audience a little bit.
Yep.
Can we play this clip?
What's
that? She's like, don't act like you don't know the words, celebrity.
Right.
This song played nonstop on the radio. You know every single damn word.
I mean, I feel like I sing that song in my sleep.
It's so good. It's so Miley.
It is.
Like, I just love her voice. You know, she's such an alto.
Yep.
You know, and she can just like, owned the stage, and she has this like quirky, you know, energy about her. And, you know, in a weird way, I thought she sort of did a better homage to Tina Turner's energy, the rock star energy, than Fantasia later in the show.
Yes,
which
I
was sort of a
agree.
copycat. Miley just sort of seemed like this rock and roll diva with this tiny figure.
Absolutely.
No underwear.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we just toss to that clip really quick?
Thank you all so much. I don't think I forgot anyone, but I might have forgotten underwear. Bye.
I can't believe she even said that.
She's going commando. Yeah. She's just like, there's a couple of crayons missing from the Miley box,
Yep.
and I want to paint the whole drawing.
I mean,
you know?
as she did say earlier in her performance, she had said, or before she performed, she did say, you know, I just want to wake up tomorrow and just watch this. Like, she's going to be watching everything that everybody's been saying about her, but it's all good stuff.
It's all good stuff.
And she's got 2 Grammys to now add to her, you know, collection of other things that she's won, however, no Grammys.
Which is more than Katy Perry can say. There's a lot of gigantic stars out there that have never gotten a Grammy. The Weeknd is another one, you know? And so for Miley to be, you know, she was a teen star. She's made a ton of albums. I personally loved this last album. And so it's really felt like, you know, her time. It was great. It was a great moment.
And I loved her body. I need her personal trainer. Whatever she's got going on, please send that my way, Miley. Please.
If you watch
and I want to borrow that dress.
If you watch the Flowers music video, she's showing you her workout routine. She's doing the like
Yep.
giant ropes. She's like, yeah, it's great.
Jay-Z and his speech for the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. Why did he decide to roast the Academy?
It felt kind of like the wrong place at the wrong time.
It did. Let's take a look.
Some of you made it, Rob. Some of you don't belong in the category.
Now, is it me or do you get Kanye vibes?
You know, he's defending Beyonce, which
His wife,
which is
I
what
get it.
Kanye was doing, you know, famously, you know, years and years ago. You know, it's hard to feel bad for Beyonce. Has won more Grammys than anyone, and
Right.
it's just specifically the Album of the Year award she has not won. Last year, everyone thought she was going to win it, and then Harry Styles won for that gigantic album, Harry's House. So it just feels like it's going to happen for Beyonce. She's obviously, I don't know, I don't think of her as an underdog, and to me this was like kind of a cringy moment for the show.
It was, but who is Jay-Z throwing shade at for who should not be in the category? That's what I want to know.
Maybe it was at Taylor. You know?
That's why I had that Kanye feel. There's no need to bully. Everybody's a winner in my book. Everybody deserved to be nominated that was nominated, and everybody deserves to win. I know there can only be one winner, but
Right.
no reason to hate.
The other cringy moment of the night for me, or two, came from Taylor. Swifties,
Yes.
do not hire a sniper to take me out. You know, Taylor won obviously Album of the Year, and she won a bunch of other Grammys. But you know, when she first got on the stage to accept her award, she used her speech as a chance to promote her next album, and she announced that.
Right.
I mean, which then we find out that it's sort of a dig at her, you know, ex-boyfriend of 6 years.
Yeah, Joe
Joe Alwyn, and so it's like it just feels like we got all sucked into Taylor universe.
But you know what this means? That means she's going to be putting out another new album that's going to be about Travis, because nothing on this album is going to have anything to do with love. This was made 2 years ago. She admitted she's been sitting on the secret for 2 years.
For 2 years. I just think Taylor is the overachiever in school who's asking for more homework. You know, she's raising her hand like, hey, I know I just won a bunch of Grammys and I'm on the best-selling world tour of all time, and I'm
I'm going to be at the Super Bowl.
I'm going to be at the Super Bowl, and people are trying to figure out how I'm going to fly there.
From Tokyo.
But I also have another album, and the room is sort of like,
We know.
yeah, you know, it just feels like, ugh. And there was another cringy moment we have to talk about with Taylor.
Yes. First and foremost, Celine Dion made a surprise appearance to present Album of the Year, which we know Taylor won. I have to say, when she walked out, she looked absolutely gorgeous because she suffers from stiff person syndrome. We were all afraid of, of her taking a turn for the worse, and this just showed that she took a turn for the better. But what upset me, and probably you, is
And a lot of people on Twitter. It's like, welcome to my world, bitch.
And I'm just like, hold up a second. She's up there hugging everybody, telling people, come closer. I don't want to be alone. You didn't even hug this woman.
But you know what?
Who's an icon?
An icon. And, you know, we're not going to get a lot more of Celine Dion making these public appearances in our life. So
embrace what you have. Embrace the moment.
people noticed that very quickly Taylor's PR team seemingly went into overdrive, and Entertainment Tonight tweeted a picture of Taylor and Celine Dion like hugging like they're BFFs. It's like, we all watched the show.
A throwback.
Oh, that was an old
right?
picture?
Was it old or was it from there? Oh, it was from last night?
They were both in a white dress.
Oh,
so like,
okay.
yeah. But it just was sort of like, okay, so
Making up.
that moment happened, and maybe it was staged, but it was sort of like trying to kind of, you know, keep the Taylor machine going. And
Why?
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theories swirling right now around Taylor Swift. And, you know, obviously she's on top of the world and she's a prolific artist and she's doing a lot, maybe too much. But like in that moment with Celine, you kind of just wanted like a human to human moment like Miley gave Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey was not, in the very beginning of the show, was not about to, you know, tiptoe on her stilettos
Agreed.
away. And so Miley,
Embrace.
it's a missed opportunity for Taylor not to like
Right.
take that.
Right.
take that
I mean,
moment.
listen, I was on the verge of tears seeing Celine walk out. I go, that is really Celine Dion coming out on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, for the entire world to have embraced that and Taylor didn't, shame on you, Taylor.
But let's end on a high note.
Yes.
Can we talk about Billy Joel,
We
hometown
need to.
hero?
Absolutely. The new one that he performed called Turn the Lights Back On. I loved it. It's like old Billy to me.
It felt classic, right? Like the last time Billy was cranking out new music was like, We Didn't Start the Fire, In the Middle of the Night, Uptown Girl, and you know, he kind of can coast on his hits. You know,
can.
he sells out Madison Square Garden. Actually, has sold it out.
Over 100 times.
I think it was hundreds of times.
Hundreds.
I think he sold it out
Hundreds.
more than anyone in history. Billy Joel was, you know, a young artist at one point in the 70s. He was being compared at one point in his life to Elton John, and people were
Right.
saying, "Oh, you're just another piano player."
Right.
And now he's Billy effing Joel, you
Right.
know? And so you all have to start somewhere. We have, you know, the Grammys always, you know, crowns a best new artist every year, and who wins album of the year is often like, you know, someone they're really excited about in that moment, like Lauryn Hill or, you know, Alicia Keys or Casey Musgraves, someone who's like on the brink of the rest of their entire career. And so
Right.
there's so much, you know, optimism and excitement for music fans at the Grammys, but you have to also pay a little respect to the older generation, and
Right.
I appreciate that. To me, that's what the Grammys are all about, is sort of mixing the old with the new, kind of giving a little taste of that nostalgia factor, you know. And I'm excited to see what's to come. You know, it was the most fun Grammys I think in a long time.
I agree. What did you guys think? Let us know in the comments, and we want to hear from you. Plus, we've got more Grammy stuff to talk about, of course. Head to page6.com.
And if you're a Swiftie, I'm sorry.